There's a path that society lays out for you from the moment you were born and even before that. If you follow the path, you're gonna have pretty much a safe life and you're gonna survive. But if you wanna follow the path, you need to follow the script as well that says now you're born, you grow up, you educate yourself, you get some kind of degree, you find a job, you get married, have kids, raise them, then retire, have rest, and then you end up in a cemetery. This is the script that allowed us to evolve, to do some terrible things, and to create also some beautiful things, to become who we are today, human beings, full of conflict, but full of great accomplishment as well. So if you follow that path, nothing too bad should happen to you. You are pretty much safe, you are part of a society, you are respected, you have a family, you have a role in the society, in this whole human enterprise. And you can also find meaning in that path, I believe. But since we are human beings, we have free will, we can also go off path, but we do so at our own peril. Once you get away from the path that society laid out for you, you are pretty much on your own, and you have to figure it out by yourself. Now, there is some kind of myth that we build around people that manage to escape this script and become successful. They are some kind of modern heroes. I'm talking about great actors, musicians, but also entrepreneurs that have one thing in common. At some point in time, they dropped out and they abandoned the script, but managed to emerge and be successful anyway, in an even more spectacular way, in a way that the script and the path would have not allowed them. But behind every hero, there are thousands of lost souls. There are people who abandoned the script and got lost, went down, and never managed to emerge back up. These people end up on the outskirts of society, and in the vast majority of cases, they are done. They will never be able to recover, and they will just be forgotten and wither away, essentially. Most of my friends are pretty happy to follow the path, are pretty happy to go and work for somebody, sometimes also to slave for somebody. Or you can also slave for yourself, for that matter. They're happy to do so. They're happy about their 9 to 5, happy about their life, happy about making jokes about Mondays, happy to work and wait for the next weekend or for the next vacation. Myself, on the other hand, I've never been able to do that for a consistent amount of years. I've worked many jobs in my life, some of them were just labor, others were more intellectual jobs, but what happened every time is that after a while I go kinda numb. I keep working, 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 and I also become one of the top employees of the company. This has been pretty much a constant, almost always. But nevertheless, I go numb, and at some point I cannot take it anymore, and I just wait for my contract to end and don't renew it or drop out altogether. So I've been in and out of the workforce, but nevertheless, I've been able to survive in my own way. I've been able to also save more money than most of my friends. This happened because I have a pretty good work ethic. Every new job is a challenge for me. I have to learn new skills. I have to learn and try to be at least at the same level of my coworkers. But once I manage to do that, or even to go above that, that's when the numbness sets in. That's when I kind of get tired. I kind of want something new. I don't feel satisfied. And so I've been pretty much wandering around my whole life from one job to another, from one experience to another. There are some benefits to this because I think it keeps you curious, it keeps you young, it makes you expand your skill set, but it's also very stressful and it also doesn't allow you to settle down properly. I think it's safe to say that I went off path, I went off script, I went in and out, but anyway, I did not become any kind of hero, and I'm a good candidate to become a lost soul. I don't know what's gonna happen. Now I'm almost 40. I'm kind of tired of this cycle that repeats itself. I want to do something to break it. Part of this process consists in putting myself out there more on the line, instead of living in the shade. And for sure, this YouTube channel is part of this process. Throughout all these changes that I have made and throughout all these lives that I have lived, I have always felt that something was off. I was always feeling like the odd one out. There was always something inside of me that was consuming me. I could not be at peace. I wanted to do more. I could not be satisfied with a job for one reason or another. And there have been moments where I had to take a good hard look at myself in the mirror and tell myself, why are you like this? Why can't you just be at peace like everyone else? I was kind of torturing myself. As the years went by and as my 40th birthday gets closer and closer, I think I can say that I feel a little bit more at peace. Not much, but a little bit more. This happened for one simple reason. I started to observe myself, I started to understand myself, understand my nature, and I also started to like myself and take some pride in the things that I have accomplished. I also started liking the way I am wired, so to speak. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. There are dark days, there are plenty of dark days, because I have not found my place yet. But there's one main takeaway after 40 years of life. You cannot fight against your nature. I think there is something moving in the grass. Sorry, I dropped the camera. So where were we? I was saying that after 40 years of life, there's one big takeaway. That is, no matter how hard you try, no matter how much you push yourself and you force yourself, you cannot go against your nature. Now, this does not mean that people cannot change. That it's total BS in my opinion. I changed a lot throughout my life. But sometimes you find some posts on Instagram or Facebook, people never change, they always stay the same. That's total BS. You change a lot and think about yourself, think about your life, and think how much you've changed. Most of the people change. Some people never change. You certainly don't have to hope that a partner will change for you, because you might be disappointed, but you can certainly change yourself. But you have a certain nature and there are some character traits that are pretty much stable throughout your life. For example, I am an introvert. I like to spend time alone, and after a while that I've been interacting with people, I feel drained. So if I find a job that puts me in that kind of position where I have to be in contact with people all the time, I'm gonna be burned out in no time flat. This is what I mean when I say that I started to know myself a little bit better and to understand myself and to understand the path that's behind me. This does not also mean that you should not challenge yourself to do more than you think you can. It's not saying, okay, so I'm made like this, so there's no point in trying this experience or this other experience. It's quite the opposite. To know yourself, you have to push yourself and put yourself and put a little fire under your ass so that you know what you are capable of. At least that's what happened in my life. Every time I was with my shoulder to the wall, I found some kind of strength that I didn't know I had, to be honest with you. If you're watching this video and if you got to this point, you can probably relate with what I said, so feel free to get in touch. It's always a pleasure. As I said, there are not very many people that I know that like to go off the path that society lays out for you. And most of them, they like to be in this kind of space that I would call average. And you know what I mean? They like to be cool during summer and they like to be warm during winter. They don't challenge themselves that much. That's the reason why the mountaintops are empty and the swimming pools are full. And thank God for that, as far as I'm concerned. People like comfort. People like predictability. People don't like to challenge their beliefs. People don't like to challenge themselves. People don't like to throw themselves into the fire. And fair enough. That's a blue jay. Okay, I feel like this video is getting long enough. I'm sorry that I don't have any grand revelation to tie everything up, but this is real life to some extent. So sometimes you just have to accept it is like that. All I want to say is get to know yourself, be curious about yourself, try to embrace your nature, and try not to work against your nature, because it can work for a while, but you are bound to lose. I also hope that for us wanderers off the path of society, things are gonna work out in one way or another. That said, I wish you all the best, take care, and see you next time. fucking awesome, man.